Hey guys, GPT-5 is now the default model for everyone. But after all the hype, is it actually a meaningful upgrade? That's exactly what we're here to find out. In this video, we're putting it head-to-head with the model it just replaced, GPT-4o. We're going to be testing its speed, its coding skills, how creative it can get, and, maybe most importantly, its accuracy. Let's see if the hype is real. Okay, so the very first thing you'll notice when you start using GPT-5 is the speed. For simple, light questions, things like how many rings does Saturn have? Or how many iPhones has Apple made? It's just faster. In my tests, it consistently beat the previous model by about 30 to 50%. But this speed boost is actually a clue to a much bigger, more fundamental change. Remember how paid users used to have that confusing drop-down menu with a bunch of different models? Like GPT-4003, O4 Mini, GPT 4.5, etc. Well, that's gone. GPT-5 gets rid of all that by integrating everything into one single, smarter model. You don't have to choose anymore. It automatically assesses your question and decides which thinking level to use. For a simple query, it uses a fast, light approach. For something more complex, it engages its deeper, more powerful side. It's a huge simplification and a much more intuitive way to work. But where this new, unified brain really starts to flex its muscles is with complex tasks, especially coding. We decided to throw a couple of challenges to the old free model GPT-4o, the recommended code model, O4 Mini High, and the new GPT-5, and compare the results, starting with a classic, prompting the models to build a playable game of Tetris. The older models, GPT-4o, took almost 1 minute, but did okay. He spat out a basic, functional game. The coding model O4 Mini High was incredibly fast, finishing in just 14 seconds and created a game almost identical to what the GPT-4o did. But then came GPT-5. It took a little longer, about 19 seconds, but the result was on another level entirely. Without being asked, it added a score, a level display, a preview for the upcoming piece, and on-screen controls. It didn't just build Tetris, it built a good version of Tetris. That's not just coding. That's intuition. So we pushed it harder. We asked for a premium-looking playable chess game, but using Pokémon as the style for the pieces. GPT-4o just failed. O4 Mini High completely choked. It failed multiple times and gave us a broken mess. GPT-5, on the other hand, took its time, even telling us it was thinking longer for a better answer. It takes a bit more time, but the result? A beautiful working game that highlighted legal moves and just looked premium. It understood the assignment on a deeper level, acting less like a simple tool and more like an expert collaborator. Okay, so GPT-5 is clearly a coding powerhouse, but it's not a straight upgrade across the board, and this is where we need a little reality check. Let's talk about creativity and the big one, hallucinations. When it comes to creative writing, OpenAI claims it has better writing flair, and in our tests, that definitely held true. We asked both models to write 30 seconds of script about the failure of Windows Phone. GPT-4o was fine. It created a good starting point, but I felt it didn't pick the best part of the history that was most important to tell. But GPT-5 was a much better starting point. It didn't just write the script. It included helpful notes for filming, B-roll shot suggestions, and even used clever analogies. It felt less like a tool and more like a creative partner. But when we switched to visual creativity, the results of ChatGPT-5 were disappointing. We asked the models to generate a YouTube thumbnail, and GPT-5 attempt was actually worse than the older models. The composition was weaker, and it even got the 16:9 format wrong. This brings us to the persistent problem of AI making things up. We tested this by asking for tech products made by food brands. And just like its predecessor, GPT-5 confidently invented a list of fakes, including an Oreo smart speaker and a KFC gaming console. This kind of hallucinations shows that despite all the improvements, you still can't blindly trust everything it says. It's a powerful tool, but it's not infallible. On a slightly different note, it does seem to have a better sense of itself. When we asked older models, "What AI are you?" we'd get some confusing answers. GPT-5, however, gives a clear answer, identifying itself as ChatGPT with the GPT-5 model. So, what's the final verdict? Is GPT-5 the massive upgrade we were all waiting for? In some ways, yes, absolutely. For complex coding and creative writing, it's a huge step forward, showing a level of intuition we just haven't seen before. But it's not a clean sweep. It still struggles with hallucinations, and its image generation can be a letdown. The good news? Subscription prices are staying the same, and free users now get capped daily access to the most powerful GPT-5. Before switching to a less powerful mini version, what are your thoughts on the new ChatGPT-5? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this breakdown, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the latest in AI. Thanks for watching.